5 pieces of bad real estate investing advice. I've heard a few things over the past 22 years that I've been investing in real estate, and that includes seeing and hearing a lot of things that simply just aren't true. So let's make sure you're not falling for any of these falsehoods. Number 1, wait to real estate invest until you have money. I see this all the time. I really think the biggest reason for this comes down to fear, because you don't need a lot of money to invest in real estate. There's lots of ways you can go about investing in real estate. Now, if you have nothing at all, the first thing you want to do is be a bird dogger. Bird dogger basically is you go and locate properties, you give it to somebody that has a lot of experience, and then if they buy the property, they give you a few $1,000s. I mean, that's a big start. And then if you have a little bit of money, maybe the next thing you could do is wholesale a property. You may not even need money to wholesale a property, because the idea is you're putting a property under contract and you're selling that contract to somebody else for a higher amount. So that's wholesaling. Don't need much money to do wholesaling. Then you get into the fix and flips, and this is where people are like, oh, you need a bunch of money to do real estate investing. And you do need some money I think at least you're gonna need is $5,000. The more the better, the more the easier, I should say. But you can get some lenders that'll fund your rehab, your closing costs, that'll fund your purchase, rehab, closing costs. And so that can get you into the game with not a lot of money. You're gonna need some earnest money, some inspections, you're gonna need, some marketing or software, a few things like that. Pretty easy can get you into the game with something like that. And that's gonna be working with the right hard money lender. So there's a lot of ways to do this. There's also the way, if you don't have a lot of money, you can buy a property, move into it, fix it up, and then keep it as a rental, or sell it and get a tax-free if you've been there for 2 out of 5 years, and then use that money to invest in other things. So you don't wait until you have money, okay? Even worst case scenario, if you need to get a second gig job where you're driving for Uber, or you're picking up the little scooters and juicing them, the lime juicers. I mean, whatever it takes, find the money, make it happen, but you don't need a lot of money to make it happen. Mistake number 2. Do the rehab yourself. Now, this comes to being a fix and flip type thing, but the idea here is that you are doing all the rehab work yourself, okay? This is a bad idea. You don't want to do the work yourself. There's a few reasons for that. Number 1, typically the work you're gonna do is not going to be the quality of workmanship that a new buyer is going to be looking for. Now, if you're a general contractor or something if you're a general contractor, I should say, you'd probably be an exception to this rule. But if you're just somebody out there swinging the hammer, your quality of workmanship just simply has to be there. Number 2, it typically takes you a lot longer to do the work. You're doing it after hours, after your job, whatever the case is. And the cost of the hard money is adding up. The taxes, the insurance, the hard money, the interest, those types of things. And in the end, you may not be saving yourself much money and the cost of simply the quality of that workmanship. So I really don't think you should do the work yourself. Number 3, wait for a higher offer, then resell the property. I kind of have a theory that first offer is best offer. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to negotiate. That doesn't mean you can't go back and forth a little bit. But the reason why I say first offer is best offer is if you look at the interest that you're paying, even if it's being accrued or if it's been prepaid, the interest is expensive. So if you look at how long it would take to sell the house to somebody else versus somebody you have now, you might be better off selling now than waiting a few months. So that's something to keep in consideration. Now, I'm not talking about some lowball offer, but if it's a reasonable offer, it's something you should really be considering. Number 4, leave your contractor alone to do their work. Contractor comes in and is like, hey, we do our best if nobody's looking over our shoulder. We need all the room we can get and just let us do our thing. Well, that is the wrong thing to hear, because I'll tell you right now, I've walked in on jobs where the color of paint was wrong, where the cabinets were wrong, where the wrong tub was installed. I mean, you name it. I've walked in, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Yeah, we're just putting it in. Well, that's not what we said. Here's the paperwork. Here's what you're supposed to be doing. Oh no, what do we do. So you need to be on site and you need to be there at least once a week. I would prefer more as much as possible so that you can look at quality of workmanship. You can see how fast they're going. You can see the time schedules and what's happening there, because time is money. And that's really what it comes down to. So you need quality of workmanship and you need speed of workmanship. The other one, number 5, is resell the property yourself. Like basically, I'm just going to put it as a for sale by owner and try and sell that property. I think that's a big mistake. Every time I've looked at it, I'm getting more money by hiring an agent that knows what they're doing than trying to sell it on my own. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. I am a real estate agent. My wife is a real estate broker. And just recently we hired a real estate agent to help us rent one of our commercial properties. So we could have rented it, we could have put it up there, but I hired a professional that knows that realm a lot better than I do. I paid them a commission that I could have kept myself because the value to pay him was greater than the savings I would get by doing it myself, because he has expertise, knows what he's doing, has connections. That's what you want to be looking for. So this is not advice that I take lightly. This is something that we do ourselves. If you would like a step-by-step system for flipping a home, including software to help you find deals over and over again, then check out my FindFunFlip system. Just click the link on the screen and make it a very profitable day.